Coming up next, we're going to be talking about the Posture Clinic, and Dr. Guy Bahar is here, and he's known as the Posture Doc.
He's the man when it comes to posture.
Which is great, and every time we talk about this, you and I sort of, oh yeah, posture.
Right.
You need to remind yourself.
Yeah.
But Dr. Bahar, what are you going to be telling us specifically today?
Today we're going to talk specifically about how to enjoy our summer activities and understand the importance of posture when it comes to our favorite sports.
Oh, good stuff.
Does posture play a big role when playing sports?
Oh, absolutely. The biggest thing that is going to help with is improving your performance and preventing injuries.
Oh, good stuff. I love those two things. We'll see you soon.
Absolutely.
That's key. I mean, not only will it be better for your body, but performance. We don't always focus on that. You're going to perform better in those sports.
Well, I know that personally when I play tennis, I find that after I serve a lot, my upper part of the back gets very sore, and I tend to slouch a little bit more towards the end of the game to compensate.
Sure,
so I'm sure that's affecting some of my shots as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, posture, big deal.
It is a big deal.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Daytime. Dr. Guy Bahar is here. He is the man behind the Posture Clinic. Welcome back to the show, my friend.
Thank you for having me.
Well, a pleasure to have you here. Time with peace, because we're all getting ready to go outside. We're getting ready to start playing golf, start playing tennis. And we were mentioning earlier, before the middle chat there, that posture plays a huge role in injury prevention and improving your game.
Absolutely. What we find is when it comes to improving your game, the correct posture is going to allow you to have the best possible strength to execute your swing with more power and more accuracy. And when it comes to prevention, when you're having the spine aligned properly, you're going to find that your muscles are going to be allowing much more freer movement, and that's going to take a lot of pressure off your spine and your lower muscles.
Some of the sports we're talking and focusing about today are tennis and golf.
Yep.
Let's start off with golf. This is, I mean, you're using such a different range of motion that your body really isn't used to using.
Absolutely.
How can a bad posture hamper that swing?
This is very important to see. You know, I have a photo actually, if it's available, we'll put it up.
We'll check out the photo.
That'll demonstrate it very easily. When we look at our left over here, we've got our old friend Tiger Woods over here showing what an example of a very straight spinal angle is. And
he does have good posture.
Yeah.
So notice how he bends very clearly at the waist, and everything above that is aligned properly. Now, as we move forward, and we're seeing the posture getting more and more slumped forward, we're seeing more of a rounding back. And this is the biggest limiting factor when it comes to restricting our rotation and our movement. So this is the same condition that I spoke about last time, about the very thing that causes our hunchbacks, our forward posture from our twittering and our working on our computers.
Forward posture, what was it again?
Forward head posture.
Forward head posture.
FHP.
And what are we seeing there in the last picture?
And in the last one, we're seeing even more exaggerated hump. And in this situation, this becomes more dangerous because now we lose so much of our power in our swing that in order to make the swing and get more distance, we have to compensate and use our extra muscles and our accessory muscles, and we end up straining, and this is a very common thing that's going to lead to injury.
All right, so if Jeff's getting ready for his swing, how do we keep this in our mind, Dr. Bahar, when we're on the golf course? And what do you want to tell Jeff? I mean,
okay, so the first,
sneak in here.
I'll sneak in over here. So the first thing we want to basically focus on is before we get into our stance, we want to be upright. So we want to think about the forward head posture. We want to have our shoulders back, our head back in that position. Chest up, and then basically we want to pivot straight at the waist till we get to our appropriate angle so that we can maintain that proper position. Now the key thing that I'm really here to show you isn't so much to give you the best golf swing as it is, I want to show you the difference between a good golf stroke without having forward posture and bad posture, so you can see how your range is affected. So now I want you to really hunch forward. Pretend you're an old man. Hunch forward.
Well, if I'm like this.
Now try to draw your swing back. You see? And
it's all wrist.
It's all wrist, and the same thing in the follow-through. You're going to be laboring to get the muscle to
get Dr. Bahar.
And then let's say you have bad posture, Dr. Bahar, and you're not correcting it. So, and you're an avid golfer, you're golfing all the time. Can that, I mean, eventually your body will get used to that.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is not good.
And this is how a lot of repetitive strain injuries. Remember, we're dealing with sports that are primarily one-sided to begin with. So you're already at a disadvantage. You're only using one side. But you combine that with a progressive forward head posture, and now you're restricting motions. You're going to have to strain to get the effect in, and that's going to cause a lot of tearing in the muscles. It's also going to put a lot of compressive stress on the neck and shoulders.
Makes sense.
We were talking earlier about me and my tennis league. This is, I mean, this is another sport where you're using primarily one side. What can I do to improve my tennis game?
Same kind of thing we're trying to demonstrate over here. When it comes to the stroke, we want power. We want power, and the biggest source of power is going to be having our full range of motion in our rotation.
Yeah.
So we want to have an open chest cavity. We want to enable the shoulders to be back, and we want to have we want to eliminate the prospect of any kind of head posture to do that. So once again,
so I go to take my my forehand, my one-handed forehand.
Not bad.
And what, I just have to focus on keeping up and open?
Yeah, and there'll be warm-up stretches that will facilitate that. But once again, just demonstrate the difference between feeling in a rounded situation and trying to see how much range you have compared to when you're upright.
This doesn't feel good.
No, because you're restricted. And if you
and your shot will be bad.
Yeah, it'll be less accurate and it'll be more painful over time, and you won't get the full range.
And now, you developed a really cool thing. I just want to grab this. Tell us what this is and how it can help people at home.
We want to facilitate things that are going to open up the chest cavity. If all our issues are revolving around forward head posture type of issues, where we're hunching forward all the time, our best exercise is going to come from reversing that, going to be coming from doing extension. So I'll show you a couple extension exercises, and where this comes into place is I got this idea when I was attending yoga classes, and I was watching people do this extension move where they put their hands behind their heads and they roll back over the ball. And it feels really good. The problem was I was noticing one person after another fall off the ball because the ball moves in every direction. So I came up with the idea of utilizing the same material but in a roll format, so you get a little more control, so you can go backwards and forwards. And that'll take a lot of pressure off the upper body.
And yet you're not going to fall off this. It only goes frontward and backwards.
It only goes frontwards and backwards, so you're dealing with
side angles.
for that. Purely for that purpose.
Very good.
But there's other stretches that we can do before we're starting our games. A common thing that I'll get ready. What I'll recommend is, this is a cute little trick that I've learned, is if you're going to be starting a one-handed sport, a good trick to do is to practice a few warm-up strokes with your dominant arm, but then do it with your opposite side, because this will allow you to stretch out your opposite side. So if you're not left-handed, pretend you're left-handed and swing. This will give it a little more symmetry in your movements and open up your cavities better. That, and we do a few stretches with our arms behind our head. We pull our elbows back as far as we can, and we lean from one side to the other.
And you're right, stretching. People don't focus enough on stretching, do they?
Absolutely. And this is why this will facilitate that, prevent a lot of injuries, open up the cavities, and you're going to get a lot more motion.
What are some of your more predominant injuries that you see people coming in for because of the fact that they had bad posture during sports?
Primarily, it's going to be lower back issues from wear and tear, from rotating, from twisting, from using the muscles too much, and we're going to see a lot of issues involving the neck and shoulders. But then we can't forget, of course, our tennis and our golf elbows.
Right.
Oh yeah, those are quite common, especially at this time of year.
Absolutely.
So Richmond Hill, in Richmond Hill, the posture clinic is located here. How do you assess somebody when they first come in?
Well, the first thing that we do is we want to do a full assessment to determine the nature and cause of their forward head posture, if that's the predominant thing. So we have a very high-tech system where we evaluate the alignment. We take photos of it so we can actually qualify and measure a person's posture. We'll give them like a posture number just to simplify things. And then we use EMG scans so a person can actually see how their levels of their nervous system are functioning at every level of the body. And then if we suspect any degenerations, we have a full on-site x-ray facility. We put everything together and we come up with their profile.
It's never too late, right? Get in there and get your posture fixed.
And I like that you can see progress. So you can see where you started, where you are now, and eventually where you will be.
Every month we do a new photo so you can actually see the progress evolve.
Fantastic. For more information, head to the website sports.Dr and get started on that healthy posture. Keep your shoulders back.
Bum out.
Yeah, your chest open. We're going to be right back with more on Daytime. Don't go anywhere.